Welcome back. The eThekwini Municipality has given the green light for the transfer of 169 properties for the settlement of various land claims. Approximately 8,000 claims were lodged into the metro. eThekwini Municipality's real estate head, Thapelo Mmusinyane, joins us now live from eThekwini. So thank you so much for your time. I get fascinated by the issue of land claims because I know it's quite a topical issue and a contentious issue in South Africa. Please tell me more about the kind of properties these are and where exactly in eThekwini are they located?
Thanks, Madumelo. Evening to you and your viewers. Just one correction. Council approved the first phase, which is actually 28 properties measuring 27.7 hectares with a total value of about 272 million. Yeah, okay. It's the first phase. They are all across eThekwini, north, south, a little bit more on the north. So this is just the first phase of us as part of our program to fully implement the obligations of land reform that are contained under Section 25 of the Constitution. And this particular approval then aligns with what Section 25(7) of the Constitution indicates, that people that were historically deprived of their land must actually have a legal right to basically have their property restored or get financial compensation for that. So this particular approval is actually just the first phase to then start dealing with those land claims. You've indicated that it's about 8,000 of them. We are then working diligently with the Land Commission to try and fine-tune that list so that we can then go back with the second and maybe the third phase for approval.
So I just want to understand something. Are we talking here about vacant land or plots of land, or we're talking about structures? Please help me understand that.
It's land. What is on structure? We needed to assess where there is a building. We needed to assess if we are not using those properties to provide a basic municipal service. So what is contained of those 27, all of them are vacant land because those are the ones that have a possibility of being restored to the claimant. If it had a structure, we then need to assess whether the property or the structure that we are using, it could be a municipal workshop. We can't transfer that because we are still using that to provide a basic municipal service. Yeah. So the 27 we are talking about is all of them are land parcels, vacant land parcels, that is.
Okay. When were these land claims filed? Because my understanding is that many land claims in the country, in fact, many people began filing their land claims with government around 1996 or so. Just help me understand when it comes to these particular claims.
Sure. Look, it cuts across the early ones and probably the last ones that were gazetted. What we took to council are the only part of the list of gazetted land claims. For a land claim to be valid, it has to be gazetted. Yeah. And those gazettes, some of them reads early 2000 all the way up. I think the last one we saw was, I think, about 2006, 2007.
Okay. So why did it take so long, at least, to kind of work on this matter and finalize it? These particular claims, at least?
Look, from our side, we are just merely acting as an owner whose properties have been claimed or been claimed. We are just transferring those properties to the Land Claims Commission for them to be able to transfer to the claimant. I think the identification of those took a bit of time because we then needed to read the gazette. The problem, and I think to answer your question of why it took a bit of time, some of the cadastral descriptions that were gazetted are not necessarily the ones that we are using today. You would remember if a property was dispossessed in 1950, it had a completely different name and a completely different number. So to try and then reconcile that old description that the claimant would have used to a new modern day farm portion with the registration division, that took a bit of time. And we then needed to be diligent to make sure that whatever we take into council is actually what is gazetted. We can then reconcile the gazette together with the property description. In fact, the level of detail we had put in that report was such that we could give you a modern day description together with the whole historic description. So we then need to read those two things jointly, do further investigation with the Surveyor General, go back historically to check historical records in terms of where those properties are, so that at least we then send properties that are correct and we are putting the correct descriptions.
In some instances, I know the Land Claims Commission has said that claimants preferred money instead of land. This could be due to a number of reasons. Here, what are the claimants saying?
It's a combination of both. In fact, we are working with the Land Claim Commission because some of the properties we have taken to council, claimant have opted for financial compensation. So that is then post approval, where then it goes to implementation. We will go back to council as we then take, like I said, it's going to be a multiple approach, multiple phased approval processes. We will then come back to say, out of the first phase of 27, so many have been transferred. These other ones, claimant have opted for financial compensation. So therefore, then those ones we are then retaining. So it's part of the administrative process that we are working jointly with the Land Claim Commission to then verify which ones have financial compensation, people have opted for that, and which ones then they're going to be restoring.
All right, sir, thank you so much for your time tonight. eThekwini Municipality's Real Estate Head, Thapelo Mmusinyane, joining us there from Durban.